Was Nero really a monster? Imagine the bustling streets of ancient Rome, filled with whispers of power, betrayal, and a ruler whose name has become synonymous with tyranny. Nero, the last ruler of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, has long been portrayed as one of history's most notorious emperors. But was he really the monster we've come to know? Nero's ascent to power began amidst familial ambition and political machinations. Born Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus in December 37 AD, his mother, Agrippina the Younger, positioned him into the imperial succession. At just 16, Nero became emperor, his youth contrasting with the heavy expectations of ruling an empire. His reign started on a promising note. Under the guidance of his mentors, including the philosopher Seneca, Nero implemented policies that thrilled the public. He cut taxes, promoted cultural enrichment, and sought to reform Rome's governance. Yet beneath the surface, tension brewed, tension that would shape his controversial legacy. The arts flourished under Nero. He openly embraced music and theater, often performing in public, a move unconventional for a Roman emperor. These acts endeared him to the masses but alienated the elite. To them, Nero's artistic inclinations were frivolous, diminishing his imperial dignity. Critics painted Nero as an egomaniac, too absorbed in art to govern effectively. However, his cultural policies invigorated Rome's artistic heritage, leaving a lasting imprint on its cultural landscape. Was his support for the arts a sign of passion or an escapist's folly? In July 64 AD, a devastating fire ravaged Rome. Legend has it Nero fiddled while Rome burned, an act of callous artistry over duty. Yet historical accounts reveal his active involvement in relief efforts. Nero opened his palaces to the homeless and spearheaded efforts to rebuild the city with fire-resistant architecture. Despite these measures, suspicions lingered. Some believed Nero orchestrated the fire to clear land for his ambitious architectural projects. This narrative fortified his monstrous reputation, sowing seeds of distrust that would shadow him forever. Nero's relationship with the Senate eroded over time. His centralized power threatened their authority, fostering animosity. As opposition grew, so did Nero's paranoia. Purges of perceived dissenters, including his own mother and wife, tainted his reign with blood. Despite these ruthless actions, some historians suggest Nero faced legitimate threats, necessitating decisive, albeit brutal, measures. As rebellions simmered in the provinces, Nero's political woes heightened, leading to fractious governance and eventual downfall. The narrative of Nero as a tyrant was not just born from his actions, but sculpted by those who survived his rule. The Flavian dynasty, succeeding Nero, had every reason to vilify him to legitimize their own reign. Roman historians, often senatorial, amplified tales of Nero's excesses, creating a legacy skewed by bias. Many of Nero's so-called monstrous acts need context lost or deliberately omitted. Was Nero merely a victim of propaganda, an emperor whose unpopular policies overshadowed his achievements? Today, Nero's legacy continues to captivate and divide historians. Artifacts and new findings offer fresh perspectives on his governance. Nero's ability to charm the public while antagonizing the elite remains a complex puzzle. Art, architecture, and urban planning from his era point to a reign of both creativity and chaos. Reimagining Nero requires peeling back layers of myth to uncover the man behind the monster. As we reflect on Nero's life, it's vital to balance the historical narrative with a critical eye. With each uncovered piece of evidence, we find a ruler torn between ambition and expectation. Nero's story prompts us to question how history is written and who controls the narrative. Are our perceptions of Nero as a monster accurate, or have they been shaped by centuries of bias and myth? Share this documentary to engage in the dialogue, re-evaluating history's portrayal and ensuring the stories we tell are as close to truth as possible.